back to Heroes of Light and Shadow, and ready to start what I like to call the second act of the game, kicked off by, as you'll hear in a few moments, a totally new intro theme. And this one's actually really nice. It's quite strange compared to most other chapter intro themes in other Fire Emblem games, but it has a nice atmospheric qualities, and it's pretty interesting. So now we're going to the magical city of Cardane. And yes, as you can see in that artwork there, you can probably tell who that is, but, we also get a bit of a backstory here on just how magic works in this universe. Which, yeah, is actually pretty interesting, although there have been designer's notes on exactly how, magic works in the rest of the series. Although I don't think it's ever been revealed exactly why spellbooks consume uses when they use spells. That's one of the great mysteries of the Fire Emblem series. But anyway, so basically, once a great sage decided to teach magic, but it was then used for war and other stuff, so he got disappointed and left, and apparently that was Archsage Goto. The orbs in this case referring to the 5 spheres, I'm guessing. Although, there was an interesting bit of trivia about developers' notes on Fire Emblem 4 that said that the legendary weapons of the 4th game, the ones the Crusaders used, that they apparently draw their power from Dragonstones, as in the actual weapons have Dragonstones in them. And it says Dragonstones or what humans call orbs. This one detail is actually really interesting. It implies that maybe the 5 spheres in this game are actually Dragonstones. It's not really made clear. But what is obvious is, you know when they said that powerful tomes like Aura can only be made with the orb's power, and their uses are restricted to a few chosen ones? That is kind of how the legendary weapons in Fire Emblem 4 work, and I'm pretty sure that it implies the very same kind of seal is put on them too. Although it kind of loses its impact in this game when Aura and Excalibur can actually be used by anyone, but the chosen wielders can just use them early. Anyway, oh, okay, this is interesting. We're getting an item here. That's weird. Whoa! Ogma's Blade, that is nice. That is very, very nice. Oh, and hey, I'm getting support points with Hala. Unfortunately, since I'm actually not going to be using her, I probably won't be seeing that conversation, but, although I have a feeling the file that I'm using, I sadly actually don't know who it is. It was provided on Serenade's Forest a long time ago, so I really forgot who it is. I think they already have Hala's supports unlocked in the library, so anyway, yeah. Yeah, there it is, Ogma's Blade, essentially a silver sword and a killing edge, both in one. Very nice that, although we don't want to waste it. We really don't want to waste it. We should save that for later. I'm just like it. I've got currently 2 of these supposed, well, what I would like to call the ultimate How's Everyone weapons. Camu's Pike and Ogma's Sword. I believe the others are Bast's Axe. No, wait, no, wait. Roro's Axe is the best one of those. No, Roro's Axe is the best How's Everyone Axe. Clyde's Bow, and Katarina's Tome, although Merrick's Tome is still pretty amazing. Got a 30% critical rate and all that. And there sort of really is no staff, but there's some really interesting stuff you can get out of How's Everyone, like strength and speed equivalents of the barrier staff, which would be useful. You might notice there I just gave the Lady Sword to, I don't have too many lances that aren't silver ones. I just gave the Lady Sword to Fina there. Again, like, she's probably one of the best candidates for it, really. Now I can convoy Aaron's items. And now, okay, I'm just going to give you an advance warning. This chapter, okay, I did an awful lot of preparations here, so this whole part is, again, going to be preparations. So, just a warning, I really don't know how I'm going to be able to keep up the commentary for this whole thing, but I'll try and keep it interesting. So I'm probably going to have to talk about some other stuff. So, again, on the preparation screen, right? Now, last chapter, I'm not sure if you saw it, but last chapter I may have used the merge command. with this thing here. As you can see there on the menu there's a merge command on the right-hand side of the menu. Now this is interesting. What the merge command does is it allows you to combine two identical weapons, so as in two iron swords or two steel axes, and they can combine their uses. You do this to conserve space in your inventory and kind of, I don't know, I mean, if you've got like a steel axe with one use and then another steel axe with like one less than its maximum uses, well, what's the point of leaving that one use axe around to rust? Just merge it with another one. Now, I've actually got to say something here. Now, if it weren't for Mage Knight 404's Shadow Dragon playthrough here on YouTube, I would not have known this option existed. So, thanks to you for showing me that, because I only played the Japanese version of Shadow Dragon, and I only really memorized the kanji for the options in the preparation screen that I remembered from previous games. So I was like, oh, you know, trade, convoy, list, give all, that kind of stuff. But I didn't realize there was a new option there, given that everything was in Japanese. By the way, I only ever played the Japanese version of Shadow Dragon, but I've read the whole English script on Serene's Forest, and I really love that game's localization. But again, like I said, I only ever played the Japanese version of that game. Probably the first game I ever played in Japanese, actually. I actually bought it when I was over in Japan. Again, you're getting random facts about my life here instead of about this game, but again, I'm having to desperately try and make this interesting. Anyway, right, oh, wait a minute, this here, conversation with Linda, this is quite important to mention. She talks about how mages can move freely in the desert, mostly because of the fact that they wear light clothing. Now, for those of you who played Path of Radiance, this sounds kind of like a retcon, because back in Path of Radiance, it was established, well, sort of established, it wasn't really clear, that apparently the reason mages can move unimpeded in desert, and has been standard for the whole Fire Emblem series, is that apparently these spirits they command actually fly out ahead of them and part the sand in their path. Then again, though, it was Sephiroth who was the source for that, and Sephiroth is not the most reliable source of information, I'll just say. So, then again. Anyway, here's Merisu's second support with Marth, where we mentioned the drill grounds, and, so we've actually got some gameplay info bleeding into the support, which is interesting. And apparently, if you get on a winning streak, you actually earn more experience. That was something I didn't actually know, but, I did notice it before, and I'm like, hey, yeah, that actually kind of makes sense now, after I see this conversation. The thing is, though, it is, unlike actual, in real on-map arenas, which are much more risky than the drill grounds, but you have the advantage of winning prize money. In the real map arenas, you still get the option to continue fighting even after you've beaten your first opponent, but I'm pretty sure there your HP carries over between battles, and it's very difficult to go on a streak there unless you, like, dodge an awful lot. Anyway then, but in the training arena, since you've got your HP fully refilled every time, it's a little easier to do that, so, yeah, although unless you're really powerful, it's hard to maintain a streak. You'll usually end up going up, it's usually just basically luck, given what enemies they throw at you. You'll usually end up going up against something like, something you can't hurt, and then that's really annoying. Anyway, and now it seems like Merisu has fears that she's not girly enough, which is interesting, and then Marth talks about that incident, which we should not bring up again. Oh, why did he have to bring that up again? Ugh. Yes, again, don't mention that. Please don't mention that. It's painful to me, it was certainly, well, it wasn't painful to Merisu, because she likes to seduce people. But anyway, right, now this is Bast's first support conversation, which we're finally getting. Now, the thing here, you can... Well, I guess if you can kind of tell a little bit here, okay, basically, the reason why, Merisu's acting all, well, apart from that, staring, by the way, I translated this conversation, and this conversation's only slightly different with a male my unit, but that whole body line, oh god, when I was translating that from male my unit, that looked really awkward. So yeah, back when I translated this the first time, yeah, it was kind of weird. But anyway, the thing you should probably know here is that Bast in the Japanese version spoke in a kind of impolite way, which was kind of carried over in the translation by his kind of blunt wording when he first says that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then this thing here, of course, Mary Sue is now referring to him by title because yeah, and Bast insists on being referred to without a title at all, which is very significant in Japanese. So so that's very friendly. But anyway, yeah. So the thing you want to know is that yeah, Mary Sue quickly corrected herself and switched back to more formal speech in the Japanese version when finding out that he was one of the ones who fought in the previous war. Yeah, just random translation trivia there. I mean, if you know Japanese like I do, you can sometimes pick up when you read English localizations, what the kind of stuff would have sounded like in the Japanese version. There's a lot of stock translations for things. Yeah, wow, I'm going really off topic here. Because, like, for example, in a game I've recently been playing, from the way a certain character spoke, it was very obvious they used Keigo in the original Japanese. Really obvious. You can kind of tell this kind of stuff when you, when I'm kind of thinking of getting into the I kind of consider, well, I fancy myself a bit of an amateur translator myself, so, and for those of you who don't know, I'm currently working on Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Damn you, Capcom, for not localizing that. You brought this upon yourself. Anyway. But probably shouldn't get too off topic here, but that was a support with Marth and Sheeta, now this is a support with Ogma and Sheeta, and oh god, I'm sounding really boring here. Again, when this whole part is preparations, what can you do to keep it interesting? Anyway. I did not see this in my first playthrough of Shadow Dragon. I've already mentioned that. What am I doing? Anyway. So, yeah, Ogma still thinks he's not deserving of such high praise. Back in the previous, when you saw his second support with my unit, yeah, he doesn't want to be seen as any kind of mentor figure. He doesn't want anyone to look up to him. Probably because of the age he's past. And yeah, so he's got to be convinced that he's not alone. He's got people protecting him. And yeah, he does have quite a lot of support partners. Well, in terms of support partners, I mean in-game gameplay supports. Even Narbal, he gets a support bonus from Narbal, and it's a shame the two don't actually get conversations, because I really would have wanted them to. In fact, I always assumed they did get conversations, but it seems like they don't. If you want a bit of development on the two of them, though, check out the third DLC bonus map. Don't worry, because that one has no spoilers for this game at all. In fact, oh, wait a minute, yeah, the second DLC bonus map is the one that has massive spoilers. Although if you finish the prologue, you can play that right now without much. Actually, no, still don't, because on a certain turn, a certain character arrives and their connection with the assassins hasn't been revealed yet in the story and won't be until almost the very end. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I just kind of spilled the beans there. In the second DLC episode, you get to play as Katarina and the Assassin, which is actually pretty cool. You also get to play as a couple of Roro clones. A lot of Roro clones, actually. I'll get to that chapter after I finish the main story, but the DLC maps are actually set in between Shadow Dragon and this one. So technically speaking, I should have done them first, but anyway. Considering that the second one contains enormous spoilers, I'm glad I didn't. The first one fits quite well now. The first one is about, Cardane and the Sanctuary of Sorcery, and the mages there, which we'll find out a bit about very, very soon, because we're going to be going there. And, oh crap! Fortunately, Ogma can take one critical, just not another one. Actually, he would have been able to take another one then, but, yeah, alright, I'm just getting Ogma a bit of experience to compensate for him not getting that much in the last part, and, well, he's doing pretty well now, actually, and, oh great, I lost the sword. Anyway, yeah, I did a bit of drill grounding here. I probably went a bit overboard. I was trying to conserve my funds. I really wanted to have a lot of money before we start. Okay, once we start Chapter 11, you'll see why I want an awful lot of money on me. And unfortunately, I kind of blew a lot of it in the training arena, but at least then, thankfully, I looked up Serene's Forest and found out that, we get a big bullion in the next chapter, so, at least that's good. And now I'm just desperately trying to get Bast even more, drill grounds, and he's still defaulting to the quick axe. And I didn't realise he was using the quick axe here, so, that was annoying. I just wasted a couple of uses of it. And also, I just found out something. In the arena, if you're using a brave weapon, your character gets their proper attacking twice animation. If not, even if they do double attack in the same round, they still go back to their starting place and then go back and hit them again, rather than staying still and doing a follow-up attack. So that's weird. You only get that if you're using a brave weapon or the like. So that's interesting. Bast tends to do pretty well against enemy axe users. And yeah, I'm going through my money very fast, but I just didn't expect to have to buy a couple of items in the last chapter too, but I really wanted that Armor Slayer and the Silver Lance, even though I have quite a few at the moment. Yeah, I'll be making use of those later. And in fact, I get the feeling that towards the very end of the game, I'll have so many free Silver Lances, I actually will have to sell most of them for cash. Although, it's really at this point where I want a lot of cash. Fortunately though, we'll be getting an item soon that'll help with that in the very next chapter. Also here, you can see just how much of a beast Fina is with the Lady Sword. It's actually a pretty nice weapon, especially on Fina, and it kind of compensates for her lack of rapiers. Except in the original mystery, then again, the Lady Sword was really amazing in the original mystery, you know, when it's like... right then. What we got to sell? Yeah, I thought I had like a bullion here and I realised I didn't. I sold them all in the last chapter. I could sell those Firestones just to be really mean to Bantu, but I'm not going to. I might want to save them when I show off a certain character later on. That certain character is the reason why I want to conserve money, because there's some really special items you'll be able to buy a bit later. And right, now giving Bast the Sagittarius Shard, because yeah, of course, an axe user could really use the extra hit chance. Sirius doesn't need any of those shards, he's already powerful enough as he is. Now, what I did here, I believe, don't need that VIP card yet. Oh well, I guess he could use a shard. We've got so many shards, we can pretty much give everyone a couple. Right, now what I did, now, you'll see, okay, on the map here. Yep, see that thief there? He has the thief staff, which is a pretty nice staff that can open a chest. Now see that village there? That village is really, really important. Remember that village, you need to save it ASAP. You'll notice an awful lot of mages on the map here. Swarm Bishops are back, yay! A lot of shops and an arena up there. So yes, this is our first actual non-drill grounds arena. Thief of the Master Seal, we want to grab that. Lots of thieves here, and we really want to stop them from reaching that village. We want to put Julian as far to the right as possible, because he's going to need to make a run for a couple of chests. We do not want to miss out on the items in those two. And some Dracos that are annoying. Yeah. I actually did a bit of preparations after this, in fact. Which you will be seeing later, because now it's finally time to start the chapter proper. I'm so sorry about that. I really hope you found some amusement out of me waffling on for 18 minutes of pretty much nothing, but okay. Anyway, see you next time when we actually do something interesting.